Hi friends, and welcome back to Playing Tribute to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2, Resolve, where we are on to episode 3. Last time we finished off the episode about the Clouded Kokoro, and found out what the secret was all about. There was a secret treasure in Soseki's room, his lodge, in his place of lodgings. He has since left the country. Susato has also left the country and sent back that letter to remind us to look at the notes from that trial, which is what that big flashback case was. So now we're fast forwarding back. Apparently, I think it was 6 months we haven't been in a trial. We're gonna see. Oh yes, the Great Exhibition.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few were aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
I was just thinking about how if you have trouble...
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
I was gonna say, if you have trouble reading cursive, they had the print at the bottom here like they have it here. But it was writing out what they were saying. I was reading the cursive stuff and then I noticed that it was at the bottom. And I was like, oh, I guess that's if you can't read the handwriting. Ah, yes, the fancy radio whatever voice. Carry on.
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future.
Look at that guy on the side just like waving with his cane, just very dapper and just like, oh yes, hello, folks. Hello, this guy. Meanwhile, the scientist guy is like super excited. he looks so stiff and proper.
A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
By the way, just to let you guys know, I do not remember this case at all. I remember there being a case during the Great Exhibition. I don't remember anything about it.
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
That doesn't sound safe.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
I don't think you should be using humans to test this contraption right now. Oh, this guy is so dead. You ever do that whenever you watch a detective show? Can you guess who the victim's going to be? My guess is this guy. I mean, he used the word body.
In but a few moments from now, these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air.
Props,
To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
props to the voice acting, though. I do appreciate the energy in this guy's voice.
This one, yes, yes, yes.
Oh, you should not be so happy and thrilled to murder a guy, dude.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Unless this is where we get into fantastical stuff. Oh, no, it's not.
No! Please! Oh, that's not what I wanted!
Meanwhile, really? We didn't go to see that? It's talking about people from around the world and every nation. We have to, we have to show up for our nation's sake. With their whole, like, what is it, the peace agreement or whatever that they made. Reno, are you listening? Sorry, what was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again? Today's paper? It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Ah, yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Oh no, he's down too. Did you say something, Iris? What is he wearing? Oh gosh, you're even more down. What is around his neck? Oh, those are his goggles. He looks different. For some reason, his vest looks different to me than it usually does without his, whenever he's been without his coat, he just has his vest, and it looks different to me for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe we've never seen him down in the dumps like this without his coat. No, we definitely have. I don't know. I might just be losing my mind a little bit. Ah! When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, no, that's his normal outfit, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it changed. It looks darker to me, actually. Like the edgings of it and the buttons. I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, because breakfast. Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. Yeah, we'll see about that. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning. With all its unruly spikes. The early ancestry to Phoenix is shining through. Clearly it can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has, ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. Yep. 6 months since I was forbidden from working in court. How am I living here? How do I have means? Am I still getting a stipend from Japan even though I'm not allowed to work in the British court? Like, what is happening here? So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Oh, back to that again, I see. Did you say something, Iris? Ah, back to moping. We're all just great company for her today, aren't we? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know! And the Great Exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together? I want to. Of course I do. But I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. I suppose we must converse. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in the trial heard at their Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Sure, I'll read the flashback. I usually don't read the flashbacks because it's like, oh, we've heard this before, but this was a long time ago. This was like 3 episodes ago. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. Who will decide upon my fate following the conclusion of this trial? Oh, maybe it was. Of course, my lord. I don't remember that conversation. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. Oh, okay. So he's doing things. That's good. He just can't defend anyone in trial. You have, haven't you, Reno? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room and the notes about Sholmes's old cases? Brewing Iris's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats in engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things. And the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on... Do you mean those things... fly? Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There's a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are, says the innocent 10-year-old girl. I wonder if Ryunsuke has the same fear of heights that Phoenix has, too. Or was it Apollo that had the fear of heights? No, they both did. I think they both did, because Apollo, didn't he go up onto the stage or whatever, and he was like, nah, you can go on up there, Trucy, and then he ended up having to go up on the stage for the magic experiment one. I don't remember. But I know the Phoenix has a fear of heights, because I was surprised of him crossing the bridge at the last case of his trilogy. Because he couldn't even, function on the bridge, and then he was crossing it when it was burning fire. What kind of sentence was that? Anyway, see here. Every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I found myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Oh, hey. Newspaper containing various articles about the world-leading science and technology that will show at the Great Exhibition being held in London. Shadows cast behind? Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Oh, well, I was going to look at the paper anyway. The Reaper was attacked. So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Oh, wait, what? What's the matter, Runa? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zeeks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? Every article on the front page news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's all positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go to see it properly before too long. Yeah, sure. We'll talk about his gloomy mood later. We'll end on a low note. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barak Van Zeeks. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. If really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zeeks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. It doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailant were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zeeks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zeeks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow morning's edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No! I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Gregson? I'm thinking Gregson. Or Lord Strongheart. Of course, so we have to talk to him anyway. Lord Strongheart, perhaps. Gregson just works for the Reaper. I mean, he reports to him. I don't know, I feel like it's like the same kind of like prosecutor, prosecutor, detective kind of deal. Like, he was answering to him, but at the same time, he wasn't answering to him. And they didn't really seem to be on the same page whenever it came to the whole, like, Morse code thing going on. And the Reaper didn't seem to be in the know of it. Anyway, what's going on with you? Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? It's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh. Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood. Ah. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please. You mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. Do you always say that? Because I feel like you don't follow it. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way down to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. Not too thrilled about going to the crime scene, then. Oh, look who's ready to go. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometime, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me out of my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you'd be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Okay, now I'm gonna follow you. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Oh! Alright then, Reno, let's get going. Iris, what are you wearing? Looks like Mickey Mouse ears. I've got change to go to I got change to go to the great exhibition. You're going to take me. But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. Is this a stick-up? Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? See, exactly. Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the great exhibition. Sure, Iris. I guess I'm babysitting. What shall I make for breakfast tomorrow? Why don't I surprise you? Oh, look at that. I can't even go to the exhibition if I wanted to. Ah, yes, the gears of the great clock tower. What a grand place. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Wait. Did you just take a book from one of the shelves? I don't know how he's gonna feel about that. Doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Chisato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. I understand you wish to speak with me. If I can remember his voice. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well. Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. I've been waiting 4 hours for this man to show up? What am I doing? Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around, staring into space. I think you're coming on a little strong there, Ryunsuke. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I have not heard about that one. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do. And it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me. Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Well, thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. I don't know. Just take a deep breath and come out with it. What else is playing on my mind? Let's go on and see what's going on. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of the foreign justice system. And I just really want to have another go. But please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruto. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on the study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. This was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you said. Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged, what do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Reno. In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please tell me more. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. The attack of the Reaper? Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, yes, the explosion, right. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that whole cutscene we saw was not completely pointless. I'm pretty sure there was some death happening at Reaper. Oh, no. Yes, I read about it! A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think? Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of the fingers? That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil-may-care. Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris' imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odious Man? Odious Man, really. Odious Man. An investor and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion. A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. I'm sorry, sometimes they're just way too on the nose. He was detained immediately after the incident. I can't speak his voice while giggling. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition. A scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder. I feel out of my depth before I even started. Still. We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor. Don't you think? Definitely. Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Zieks? How? Oh, I guess we're gonna find out about the Forensic Science Symposium first. All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition, and next month the largest and most important of them will all take place at last. Most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation... Oh, that's me. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly! Ah. London. The global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic science. Oh, sorry. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly. The future of policing. Ah! What's with you, Iris? Aren't you all for this? Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming. Ah! I think he keeps scaring her whenever he does that. Is he like shouting loudly or something? If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very much different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating. No, don't encourage him. It all began 15 years ago. I was... Oh, you've lost me. Clearly this isn't important for the lore of this story. Dude, there's so many other important things we need to talk about with our time that we have. Look how his mouth just keeps going. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter, in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. Don't I have to, like, hurry up and see the prison? Weren't we running out of time? That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes, that's wonderful. I didn't hear a single word. Exactly! Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. I guess she wasn't as fascinated as she said that she would be. Oh! Is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Are we gonna talk about the Reaper? Are we not gonna talk about the Reaper? Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? Reports of overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked. Oh, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not? Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, actually. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. Yeah, we care about Van Zieks. He's an okay guy, if not a bit prejudiced. he apparently has reasoning behind that. Betrayed by a Japanese man. I don't know what the nationality of the man that he was betrayed by has to do with him being betrayed by him, but whatever, you know, people have their logic. Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to the events that occurred a month ago. The leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations were indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. Oh, wait, hold on, let me repeat that. What occurred a month ago, okay. But the man was acquitted. No doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money. A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. Oh, was he the Abysmal Man, or whatever the name was? Odious Man? You're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchmen certainly seem to think so. There's a man by the name of Esmen. Mr. Odious Men. Did you say Esmen? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition. Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with a mysterious end outside the courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way that so many have died if not by someone's hand? Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Which he did. I mean, he left for 4 years or whatever. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. Dude, that's an entire day. 11 hours late? That's quite something. The meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. A silliness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for men during the 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh, so it's for me during the 12 solid... Yeah, you wasted a lot of time. Yes, where would I find Lord Van Zieks now? I would assume he's at his office. Right. I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. So, I guess we're moving along, then. Should we go to the prison first? Or the prosecutor's office first? I mean, this is what was mentioned later, but then he said something about Professor Hairbrain. But this might technically be closer to the Chief Justice's office. So we're just gonna go there. Plus, I'm very curious. I want to see his office. Look at how fancy it is. Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office? Yes, it appears so. Huh. It says a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. You seem so chipper about it. Is that? That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. Wonder who it is. This might be Zeke's. Van Zeke's. What are you doing here? Ah! Hi. He's unwelcoming, as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. Must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. Oh, I thought that was his attacker for some reason. But then he said guns, so I guess it wouldn't be, since he had swords. He's very able in combat. Requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper. I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great cauldrons. Tell me more. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by henchmen of Odious criminal organization. The investigation into their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odious men. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means, via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was the most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage, instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Osman died when the demonstration in the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen to you? Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent in this particular death, at least. It is strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runa? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... What? I had understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain was from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all. So you were students together? I was in the faculty of law, of course, and he in science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed! What's Lord Van Zeek's thinking? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean I'm a crown prosecutor, an immortal like any other? No demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean? Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecuted, the vilest wretches of our society. Is Hairbrain one of those? People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world's a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Ginny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now. I can't deny that, since I encountered you. Things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind, not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believed it was true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zeeks. Is that it? Is that all we're getting from you? What about your friend? Do I need to come back? Lord Van Zeeks, about the article in this paper. Oh, yes, it seems there was a report nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. Just careless. It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? Yay, information. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Reno. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face or indeed his identity. Why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. It's not one for meaningless faults. There would be a good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. That mask makes his eyes look super yellow. Like, do you see like the creepy like black eyes with the yellow irises. Ah! The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. Nice to meet you. Cool. Good talk. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed. And yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. What is with this? Wait. What is Lord Strongheart up to here? What is all of these random orders? It's like, oh hey, take on this guy. Oh hey, make him wear a mask. Oh hey, don't talk to anybody. Like something is up. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Random loading screen, alright. Ah, yes. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man. Is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters. Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runa. Well, I mean, there's very few others of our mutual acquaintance. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Are you worried about him? Because of the whole Reaper thing? Like, he knows that he was innocent and he wasn't like a vile criminal or whatever that he keeps calling. Like, I think he might have been worried about him. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? And how nice of him to be worried about a Japanese man with his prejudice and whatnot that he has. So, you know, good on you, Vansix. He's a good egg. He's alright. He has his issues, but he's an alright guy. There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Saseki-san. After a Nipponese. Exactly, see? What a good guy. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. Well, I mean, again, the Reaper thing. Like, he doesn't know what's going on with it, clearly. So he wants to make sure that Saseki's okay, even though he prosecuted him. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books. A mad scientist? You mean Professor Harebrain. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zeeks, I think. Alright. Goodbye, vampire music. One of these moments we'll be able to actually look at the crime scene, too. I mean, I was gonna go to the prison next, but I wanted to at least see the option. Okay, I was worried about, like, the German accent or whatever that I would have to do for this guy, but he's English, he's British, so, we're good, Not like I can do a British accent, but, you know, not consistently anyway, and not different than the one I already have been doing. The warden said cell 11, that's this one. Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner, look. What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Harebrain. Did he hear me? Okay. I'm Ryunsuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Oh gosh, I don't remember this guy at all. Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? I'm trying to match his voice from the opening. Would you be here? How about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! The demonstration was... That magnificent demonstration was... A failure? Do you want to say a failure? An awful, terrible murder case that disappeared? It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. I beg your pardon? What? But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity. Oh, he's one of these people. And now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Let's talk, buddy. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense. The experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Isman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the crystal tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Isman, in fact, perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Isman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. Oh, he's serious now. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But... Murder! Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Yeah, so what's going on here? Because I was thinking that too. If it was an accident, like why would... It would be... What, manslaughter for... what do they call it whenever you're like... being... mindless or dumb or something about like something that you did was poor judgment or such, and I lost the word for it, but that at the very most, not murder. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pore over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. And that's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. But don't we have to investigate it to see what happened? For the case itself? But anyway, yeah, involuntary manslaughter from error. No, that's not it. So in short, there was a terrible accident in the Great Exhibition showground yesterday. Yes! Or rather, no. The devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. But isn't that what I just said? Oh, terrible accident. Okay. Sounds the same to me. Exactly. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating! Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! He's moving as much as Shakespeare. Just think, one moment I could be here in the cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet could be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that's got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the look of it. Bunnybrain, because hairbrain? Haha. Clearly this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless, the science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And it's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him in the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Esmond. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odiusman, right? Wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Esmond provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. Oh, there's an engineer involved. Who actually built the machine. That'll be interesting to note. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Esmond. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Roll insight. Oh. Sorry, my D&D is showing. I understand Lord Van Zeeks is a friend of yours from your university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-round nice fellow, really. Unassuming? Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barrick Van Zeeks. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Runo. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zeeks family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had such noble blood. Little darling. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he became. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. Think you're gonna have to, though, buddy. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work, is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4! I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention, so I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Is your hypothesis about you being innocent? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe you, and I'll fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law, that's all I know. You have to believe me, please! When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. All right, Runo. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition. Sorry. Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Let's go. Aha! The experimentation stage has opened to us. Don't forget to take me with you when you go. What have we got here? Ah, this is what I remember. I don't remember much of it though. For some, like it was all blur in my head, but now I'm kind of I can kind of recognize it. The staircase at the side, in the foreground. I didn't remember the crystal tower in the background. Man, I don't remember this case at all. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. How long has this day been? Like, we were waiting for the guy for 4 hours. Then we went to the Reaper's place and talked to him for a while. Also, not to mention the guy that we waited for 4 hours gave us like a 2-hour-long conversation. And then we went to the Reaper, and then we went to the prison. And now we've been walking around for 2 hours. Like, what time of day? Did it say what time of day it was? No, it's just giving us the date. It's not telling us when things are happening. Anyway. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times, too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though. Oh, I don't know why I thought that was Iris. It's blue. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. What is happening? Is there an argument happening? What am I listening to? What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Oh yeah, I was right. Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah, go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it. Look, it's our good friend. Wait, I know those voices. You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. I never could figure out her voice. Yo-hoo! Oh, it was Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo! Gregsy! What are you doing up there? Aha! Ah! It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! You! Here! Her ladyship! How are you, Lady ladyship. I do hope you're well. Your ladyship? Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. Oh, he was suspended for as long as I was. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Where there should be. Watch it, sunshine. Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So, we're here to investigate. Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob? That all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You can stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Naruto. Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is. You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspicion 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. Suspension. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Sorry, it would help if I could read. What's your problem, Otto? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips ran down your throat and all, Gia? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You're just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you've been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't the way to talk to a lady, Otto. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls it that. What it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, right? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Meet the new and improved Gina Lestrade. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with the case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. Technically, she got embroiled in 2. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. Diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective? You got it. Good, isn't it? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him. Just a small promise, that. Nothing serious. Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how I come at So anyway, that's how come I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her sort of apprentice. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson. And brave. Why do I think that she had something to do with this? Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt. So, the long and the short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what, Runa, what? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in the trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty. Yet here she is still. Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called? Gah, you don't have to worry, Otto. If I didn't have to worry, there'd probably be a whole lot of you left. Wow, okay. If I didn't have to worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. You don't have to worry. Britishisms. It's like I told you before, isn't it? The Reaper's kind of like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. But I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be a stretching a point. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly! So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. It was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on the machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. I'm biting her voice with irises. I'm so sorry. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry. You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. Boss is in charge here, ain't he? Keeping everything running smoothly, I mean. The boss being Inspector Grayson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to. So all I have to say is I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this! I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching from above. Oh, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it! You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You had no trouble at all. And it's settled! When do I start? No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success. In a way. It was? How can it have been? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. Yes, like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and a whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the Crystal Tower over there. What? What? In the tower? You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold? Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean? What, did he crash through it? Yeah, cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air and whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I tell you what. You can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 Bobby off before, so fair's fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? Diagram showing the relative positions of the Crystal Tower and Professor Terrapin machine that exploded. Hold on a second. So, you're saying that there, he came from here, and it got shot up into the Crystal Tower over here. What? Also, I kind of remember this diagram. I feel like I remember pieces of it being important. It's kind of coming back to me. I don't know. I've only seen. Remember, the first game. I watched it and then I played it, so I was more familiar with that. This second game, I've only played it once. It was a long time ago, like when it first came out. When it first came out in English. On the Switch. Anyway. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. Yeah, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine that blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call them again? The Forensic Investigation Team, I think? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yeah, I never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander in the quiet, though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? Oh, that's what they were arguing about. It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to Amato? Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? The machine that exploded is? We can try, can't we, Runo? Gregsy will listen to us. We'll see. But first I want to investigate, because I saw this, like, mess down here, and I want to make sure that we, get to see it. Oh look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth? It's not like any fabric I've seen before. It's very thick and stiff. Looks extremely durable. It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it has something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. Found a piece of canvas, like material, backed with rubber that was found under the experimentation stage of the exhibition grounds. There were scorched on the edges. I'll look at it in a moment. Let me get some information here, too. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something. Right, because this wouldn't be where it was exploded. It would be exploded on the stage. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Runo. Oh, what's this? Hey, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped or hid. Looks like one of those gadgets that she makes. Like, I'm seeing crossbow. Are you seeing crossbow? What is this? Some kind of part of the machine that exploded? Maybe. Could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. Very curious device found behind a tree under the experimentation stage of the exhibition grounds, almost as if it had been hidden there deliberately. That's where the Cove ended up after his instant kinesis or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success. What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really. Didn't you help erect the scaffold, though? Nah, lookout duty's my thing. Wandering around the exhibition, keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really, really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Much like shelves. Oh, I thought that was like a handle. Like it was like a gun. That's why I was seeing crossbow. I couldn't find where I could click it. There's some sort of lever here. Oh, yep, still seeing crossbow. That is much a crossbow. What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. Yeah, crossbow. I think it's probably used the same thing, too. It looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. I love how Iris is just there. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right, it's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches a deer with a bowstring 2 times out of 3. In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma and Kira to archery training. Okay, I wonder if we can find the bolt somewhere around here. I have a thought. I'm not going to say it out loud. But I have a thought. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We could go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment is being conducted. Up we go. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up? Oh, must have been a magnificent explosion. And I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course! Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. That might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time, he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Gregson? Oh, look, Inspector Gregson's over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. Let's investigate before we talk to him. We don't want to bring him to our attention. It's not going to let me investigate any of this stuff, is it? Here we go. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently. And mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point. Yes, that part's crucial. Something like that even possible, though, Iris. Oh, Runo. I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this lever here... Stop! Don't touch that! That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over here just now, Gregsy. Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. So sorry, you can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Ah, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrained in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's a blasted Special Dispensing for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Ah, yes, the Special Dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks is playing out sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Eh. Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gracie? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Rena? She really knows how to get what she wants. We wouldn't dream of touching anything. Can I examine things? I want to know what this stuff is. And this looks like a bow. Oh, it was the microphone. Right. So, is it just the machine then at that point? Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrained was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I string it up myself. You hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare the thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? He asks, like, totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we? Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! The annoying, obstructive flaming rules. Oh, look at the base of the machine there. Yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think. Why does it look like it's in the shape of an A? Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle's in the shape of a capital letter A. Yeah, okay. It is? Oh, yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Yes, I understand, sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit. Ryunsuke. But Gracie, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really very, very curious. Of course, the leadership. She's so clever. The leadership fans spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But Reno found it first. I assure you I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it. That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy, embarrassing mistake in the next month's installment now. Poor Gregsy. Where one smiles Edgeworth cut pay, Iris makes you a fool in her writing. Okay, well, I think that's all we're gonna get from... Oh, wait. There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time. Oh, in your country, Rena? I do wish I could go and see it. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written, especially Steel Samurai, really? And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some Baritsu master ninjas. I totally butchered that entire sentence, I'm sorry. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well, that's dull. But I do know a prosecutor with a Chan Mage top knot I could introduce you to. A Chan Mage, really? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong again. I think I discussed that the last time I said that word. Do you think I could find my picture taken with him? Do you? I'm assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago. Yes. Yeah, he lost that, though. Ferris wheel. Okay, we need to talk to Gregsy here. What's going on here? Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body. and then beam him across the crystal tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing anything it can to promote new science and technology. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than they are to spot a public safety infringements. If they can't be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. If they can be, sorry. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So the powers that be are placing heavy emphasis on the scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through development into a practical idea and even go into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new highfalutin special dispensation for the Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. Just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, you can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Gracie. He's very head up, isn't he? Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means they're not allowed to touch the scene here? Are you having me out of sunshine? It's a special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Quit making me read that. It's really hard to say. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently, with a real twinkle in his eyes, I remember. I'm sure he did, Your Ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for its great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display here every day at the exhibition. Although a good half of them are little cobblers, if you ask me, performed by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of these inventions here are. It's also fun. It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present in every single demonstration. Can you imagine a hang science? That's what I say. No, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. Scientists get funding? Exactly. And that's what they're all after. All these shammers come from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? That's the coppers, that's it. So you can see what I say now, can't you? Hang science, hang it. Oh, maybe I can see your point. Apparently Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. Turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks. What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zeeks demands the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed. Because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey. That man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking to Van Zeeks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, by Mr. But Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, right? How long that business is gonna keep up, I wonder. The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Esmond? He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Beric Van Zeeks is top-class prosecutor. Yet even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected the Van Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands and we failed to seal this deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, from a very thorough investigation, the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zeeks is in no way related to the death of those people outside. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zeeks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. What? He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? He's being pushy. Does he know? Alright. Are you done here, Mr. Naruto? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot are here now. That lot? The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me a heave-ho in a minute, too. Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up. Ah, that hit the spot. Yep, hits every time. Well, I guess I've seen the scene with my own eyes. Looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigations here, at least. I've been thinking. Hurley might know something, mightn't he? About what? About Mr. Reaper! About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. How many years ago would that have been? Given the example of nowadays where graduation at what? From university. Graduation from university at what, like 22? So like 11 years ago? 10, 11 years ago? Maybe 12? Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? Here, this is what you need. What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tussbells. Is this supposed to mean something to me? You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like. No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow. But that's where Hurley is. What? At this popular London attraction? Yes. How is it that you know where he is? Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Reno. Madame Tussbells. Also, great secret keeping there, Iris. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. To Madame Tussbells we go. Let's see what is in store for us here. Sorry, that music just clipped there. Oh. I remember this place. Oh gosh. Oh, I remember this place well. What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. Why are all the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. And they're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked? Wax models? Ah! I read about dead bodies and wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called a adiposphere? Stop talking about creepy things like that, Rudo. You're scaring me. Anyway, a adiposphere doesn't form readily, you know, and ah! It's only very specific. What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them! No. There's no way anybody can make models of people that are this realistic. Oh, that's me. That makes more sense. There's no way anybody can make models of people who are this realistic. Hey, Shones, what's up? And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait. What is it? Oh. No. I must be seeing things. Wait a second. Why is this hand sticking out of the curtain here? Sholmes can wait. What the heck? Is this an arm? It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models had fallen over? You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? No, stop scaring me! Is it a wax arm or a real one? Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels. Objection! Okay, we'll go talk to Sholmes now. Hi, Sholmes. Did you move? I think he moved. It's the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really? No, that's him. Well, he is world famous after all. No, he doesn't go with the scene, guys. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it. I know. But look, Bruno, you can kick this Hurley, and he doesn't move a muscle. You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit, either. He was in pain, poor guy. Really? Did it? And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. I guess they wanted to redo the craziness of seeing the dead body rise up from the chair in this episode. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
My dear fellow, I take exception of your recoiling in such a manner as you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes, I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you. Oh, sorry, I thought he was talking about being kicked. I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruto. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me. Reno has something he needs to ask you. A question. And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are. Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more of being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all success had been built, would have been turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you? You could know something, it's true, about Lord Van Zeeks, and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? If you're in luck, I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me... I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it's related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now, I must return to my work. Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Talk to me, dude. What is this place? Madame Tussmills came to London from France 3 years ago. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tussmills family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. I don't know why I pronounced it like that. That sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism, and the expressions on the faces of the condemned. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of the several legends about the Tussmills family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum, by quite some margin, is this House of Horrors. A house of horrors. Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition, but people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals and their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So, they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So the hideous exhibits in here are... They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. No, he's back to being waxwork, is he? What do you mean by temporary waxwork, Mr. Schultz? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them. Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When the members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'd happily allow them to take a photograph of us. Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? Why, Mr. Schultz? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money. He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. And I have the ravenous iris to consider. Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Hurley. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruto, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Anyway, back to what we're doing here. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How'd you find it? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at the university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zeeks such a different person. I was sure that you'd know, Hurley. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot, and that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Serious mode. Well, it seems we've reached a... What? Well, it seems we've reached the unavoided. Greetings. Oh, hello? Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? Could she look even any more mysterious? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know... Not again. My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tespers. This is my museum of waxwork. You're the Madame Tespers? Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I am a madame in name only. It has a certain je ne sais quoi. Right, I need to make her accent more French. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. Mr. Sholmes, then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now? Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot? Right here in the museum, I mean? Yes, I know, but... What if I had asked this question first? I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Does that have something to do with the hand behind the curtain? Do you make all these waxworks, Madame Tespers? I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know? Gosh! It was my grandmother who began this tradition in my family. Her fortunes which occurred, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. So that is when she acquired the savoir-faire, and that leads to the astonishing life like this. I am jarbling my words with trying to do this accent. All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than her. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people in which they were modeled, in the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary life like this. It sounds terrifying. All walks of life has similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, you must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians, something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it. Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. What sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. That's it? That's all he said? Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, it's a creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Beg your pardon? What? It's like burning. Oh gosh. Or words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50-shilling problem. It must be resolved by the morning. Or was to that effect? It's the pawnbroker. That's what it is. He must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? I wonder, could I ask you something? Monsieur? I'm just curious. Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was... He's gone. Your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he's disappeared. Why are we question marks? A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Is it not her? Oh, it's him again. There you are! Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working. Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madam Principal, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can melt. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though, please be aware that I prefer... No. Insist upon payment in advance. She's gonna call the police. Very well. Oh. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Oh, we're gonna do the dance of deduction, guys. It's been 2 hours already in this case, but, in this investigation, but here we go. Before I engage my analytical process, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? that is a special exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it. A special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer, then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Absolutely none. There's nothing amiss behind it. Nothing amiss, madam. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only as soon. Sukun, I think. I don't think they would pronounce the P. I must confess I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Tossfell's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. It does strike one, however. Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Well, I was wondering why the hand was so white. It's gloved. That's a wax figure, right? That's not an actual person. Well, and perhaps Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself? I'm afraid not, my dear friend. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman, not even a waxwork, in fact. Oh dear. What? Is he dead? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Huh. She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Tossfell, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Here we go. The game is afoot. That's what's afoot. Let's see what craziness he comes up with here. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in the museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. To my estimation, some 200 pounds. That's all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tossfell. Yes, wow, now I'm combining accents. Yes, the answer lies when your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale. Our business has had hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds. None. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear that the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around with your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in the special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regrets. question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider the problem for a moment. You cannot, you cannot possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is that a young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Such as worn by policemen as secret sign to fellow members of the force, the crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is the undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact, Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades in last year's policing awards. But... Next, we turn our attention to the old man who sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were waxwork. But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed at once, of course. Observe. The telltale signs that instantly proves whether or not this old man is waxwork is this obvious price tag. Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. They're perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold to a portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam? I do not. Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, not a moment too soon. This concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of that horrifying puzzle. It's the first time we did a great deduction without Susato being around. I'm gonna have to do it all on my own. I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Hurley. You have. How is she holding that pot without burning her hands? And you obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruto 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear friend. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman. Otterman. Sorry. It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, the senior officer by the name of Ottermole. So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It's a particular grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things into perspective. So it is quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me. Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright, to make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things right. Set things straight. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tuspels vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tuspels, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Let's dance. What was she actually looking at? She definitely looked in this direction, it's true. But I'm not sure she'll sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds. Oh? She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and about and above the wax? If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway. I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance. Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it. Oh. What's this? It's labeled with 200 pounds. What's this note doing pinned to the wall there? Yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tuspels, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd of October. What? It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped. Like a ransom note. Yes, it's a ransom note. There it is. Exactly. I think that...
Take that!
tells some significance. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness, abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds, no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag, the ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Our portly gentleman. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is? We could just ask him when he comes around. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. Yeah, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard, we mustn't let him down. Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tuspels trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. You're hiding something back here? Is that a hand? I don't think that's her hand. It's too big. This is just Madame Tuspel's right hand, isn't it? Also, it's not a right hand, it's a left hand. Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all. But wait a minute. This is a left hand as well, look. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard. You mean, it's made of wax. What's the sentence that I'm filling in?
Take that!
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you... The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. Oh, the hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact it's a left hand. Oh. And somewhat masculine as well. Oh, that's Charles. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you. It is the hand of the waxwork model. Ah. Oh. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result is the scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later. But, for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer of the special exhibit has been kidnapped. Can you kidnap a statue? According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard. That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Is it his missing arm? Is he missing an arm? He's missing an arm. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be. Well, that settles that then. Right, this isn't a real person at all. His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down. His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out.
Take that!
It's the killer. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks the earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man. Naturally! What other explanation could there be? And it was the detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor of the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known? It was all over the papers last year. But I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. Threepence isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garridov's delightful lodgings, in fact. So, this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? Waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds? Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really? Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up. Is he actually a real person? Is that what we're gonna be implying here? Oh my gosh, he is. He's moving. He's moving, you guys! Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy. He seems to be fast asleep, though. He's not tapping his foot consciously, then. So you mean... It must be a twitch. Never mind that. The point is waxworks don't tap their feet. Or twitch. And look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? Yeah, I noticed that the first time around, this yellow scarf. If that's what they show, or that's how they show that a crime is taking place. But anyway, the twitch shows that he's not a waxwork. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, the splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. slight shift in your choice of adjectives then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tuspels. Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come from the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's the tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No, not the price tag, the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at the local market. And I presume you observed the scarf tied around his arm? Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruto? Yes, a secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because as you know, there has been just such a criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective. So, it seems that we finally arrive at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Elementary. All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. It was a pleasure, my dear. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I have no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Yes, tragically it was. And I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. Immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. And I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then. So, this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose? Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. Is the professor. Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruto, seems the circle is complete. Sorry? The professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago. Yes, at exactly the time that Baroque Van Zieks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying. So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life. As you've surmised, it was the professor case. Who was this professor, then? It was a series of gruesome murders that all had London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present, on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest. What do you mean, Hurley? Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Aristocracy. That's how you say that word. Members of the nobility, even royalty, sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Oh, wait, of course. What Professor Harebrained said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood. Oh, gosh! It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zieks. No. I don't believe it. Van Zieks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barrack pursued a career as prosecutor. I messed up when I was in Barrack's office. I should have looked at a certain thing. There was a picture on the back wall. I think it would have been named. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Never mind. Forget what I said. Baroque pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually became the Reaper we know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. His waxwork exhibit. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. What about the cop that's there, sitting there, twitching his leg? Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh, what? Oh, wait, I think I know what's happening. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. I think that's our friend, the defendant. Yep. It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barrack. And I knew he was talking to Barrack. Did he already know that he was the prosecutor? It's been 10 years. Here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Esmond. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow the court will decide. Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. It's not even facing you. At least look your friend in the eye, dude. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barrack, are you really... What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart. A friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Oh. Of course. I fully understand. Thank you, Barrack. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. Huh. he's prosecuting because he's his friend, not despite the friendship, so that he can be sure he can see how things go. Interesting. This case is going to be an interesting one. I can already tell by the little things that I remember about overarching stories and such. I guess we'll see what happens here. I still don't remember this case at all. But I did remember that Gina was a detective now. Or kind of. But yeah, I guess we're gonna dive in and we're gonna see what comes of the trial here. Hopefully we get another investigation between trials again, because that would be nice to actually get to investigate the scene of the crime. I think I have one piece of evidence. No, wait. I have that burnt up thing in the crossbow too. So I have like the newspaper clipping, the burnt up thing, and the crossbow. So, yay. Probably a lot of stuff gonna be in the trial though. Autopsy report, things like that. But I won't keep us any longer because this was a long one. Oh my goodness, it was a long one. So I'm just gonna sign out now, and I will talk to you guys next time. Stay tuned. See ya.